Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. So, how are you?
Doing great, man. Pleasure to be here. How are you?
Yeah, pleasure to meet you too. It's so great to finally talk to you now, and I see like you're chilling on the beach. That's amazing.
Yes, that's for sure, man. I know we try to get this going. I guess a couple of attempts now. Finally, it was great to
Yeah, no,
finally
of
make
course.
it happen. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I gotta tell you, like, I'm a huge fan. I love your work. It's incredible. And I'm glad to have connected with you over Instagram, and I'm glad that we are finally doing this.
Yeah, likewise, man. Thank you. Too kind.
Yeah. So tell our viewers a little bit about who you are, what you do, and yeah, what's your journey like?
Yeah, so hey everyone, thanks for I guess watching this. Once you do, my name is Laro Pilartes. I am based in Corpus Christi, Texas. It's one of the few coastal cities in Texas, hence the beach behind me. Uh, I am a niche nomad, so really I started with travel photography, a little bit of fashion, but nowadays I do it all. I try to expose myself to different styles. And I know you do some travel photography yourself, so I guess that's where we connected. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's me. I love learning. I love this community, and yeah, happy to be here.
nice, nice. And how long have you been doing this, like professionally or like more actively on social media, or like how long in general since you picked up the camera?
Yeah, so I really picked up a camera, more than a decade ago. So,
Mhm.
but before it was merely just me picking up a camera and going out and taking shots for no reason. You know, a lot of the time it just be me snapping that photo so that I had a memory of what was happening at that point in time.
Yeah,
But I guess I'm part of that. I guess statistics of people that started doing something different when COVID began. So that's really when I started pushing myself to do more. You know, we're all at home doing close to nothing. So I told myself, hey, why not, learn
yeah,
more, yeah,
yeah,
push yourself,
yeah.
expose yourself to new challenges, and here I am.
Okay, nice, nice. So you work with, I've seen like you obviously photograph other people as well. So are those like are they professional models, or you just photograph like friends or other people that you work with kind of thing?
They should be professional models, right? They are so talented, man.
Yeah,
Most of the time, it's just people that I know. When it comes to portraits, right? It's just people that I know that have the same passion for photography or even modeling, just modeling.
yeah.
And I'm lucky to have this network of people that help me with my endeavors. So
Mhm.
yeah, I guess I'll take this chance to thank them for it, being part of the many visions that I have.
Yeah, yeah, very nice. And they're all like locals from there, like from Texas where you live?
Most of them are. I do travel a lot too, so I always try to connect with people in different places that I go, and I'll try to go out and photograph different environments, I guess, with them too. So I just take advantage of wherever I am.
Yeah,
And I guess if you look at my stuff, where you can see that it's not all Texas. So a lot
yeah,
of the time, it's just me taking full advantage of the places that I go to, and photographers are everywhere, models are everywhere,
right.
and I'm lucky that I get to work with, I guess, photographers, models, and both. A lot of
Yeah,
the time, it's people that love photography and love modeling as well. So that
yeah.
that helps. That helps a lot.
Okay, okay, very nice. So what are you shooting with currently? Like what gear are you using?
So right now I have a Canon EOS R. That's I guess I would say that that's my main camera. But
Uh-huh.
a lot of the time I go out not to, whenever I just go out to experiment, I take a Fuji XS10,
Uh-huh.
just try new things. I'm a huge fan of like cinematic or sort of like a digital film type stuff.
Yeah,
So having the Fuji, and it's a much smaller body too. So having that Fuji to go with helps a
yeah.
lot.
Okay, nice, nice. So was that your initial like camera that you had bought that you started shooting with, the Fuji
So
one?
no, that's actually my most recent one.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of funny. I won that at a competition, and that was literally a month after I bought my Canon. I was like, oh man, I wish I had waited, that way I wouldn't have spent money on it. But
Uh,
no, yeah, it was a competition, and it's the most recent camera I have. So yeah, I love it.
okay, nice. And what lenses do you generally use for portrait photography?
Uh, Two main lenses. I would say a 35 millimeter. That's great. A lot of people love the 35. It works great for different photography niches. But I
Yeah,
also do have a 70 to 200, so that helps a lot with compression, especially if you wanna full body shots and having that blurred background and things like that. So that helps a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
Uh, I do like the 35 because you're closer to your model, so there's more chemistry building. But
yes,
yeah, I can't deny the greatness that comes out of the other one as well.
yeah, yeah. So now when I talk to many other photographers that are like up and coming in this scene, they always tend to struggle with being able to find people to photograph. So how did you step into that uh, arena? How did you find people to photograph like in your early days?
Hmm. I that's a tough question, but I think the community of photographers gave me a lot of answers to many of the questions I had, and
Mm,
one of them in regards to meeting people to photograph, it was people are nice. People are nice if you go to the
mhm.
right settings and you tell them, hey, I have this vision. Sometimes, yeah, they'll be like, no, I'm camera shy, or I don't want to do it. But in my
Yeah,
experience, at least, a lot of the time people do wanna help you out, and
yeah,
there's a lot of people out there that, believe me, love modeling. You wouldn't know, but yeah, if you're just friendly and they can connect with you in an
uh-huh.
authentic way, you're very likely to find people to photograph.
Yeah.
Uh,
Even if they don't know uh, that they could be potential models or they could potentially look good on the
yeah,
on like an actual professional photo shoot. But
ex- ex-
once they see the results, then they're like, oh yeah, really? Like that's me?
exactly. And that is how you build a portfolio too, When you first
Yeah,
start, you don't really have anything to go with your name. So you
yeah,
really gotta be willing to put yourself out there. And uh
yeah,
I I guess it's the same thing in relationships,
yeah,
you gotta try. If somebody says no, then okay, to well, move on. If
yeah.
but eventually you'll start landing people, to
Heard,
get the jobs that you need.
heard. Yeah.
Mm.
There was I still remember a couple of months ago I was in Kazakhstan and I was just stepping out of the information center at one of their ski resorts. So
Mhm.
that place where you board the cable cars or the ropeway or something to go up. That's where like a guy was standing there with his, I think he was shooting with 5D Mark III, and he had I think one of those I think 7200.
Mhm.
So he's just like randomly clicking people. So even right now, if you see the picture that I have on my Instagram, like the profile picture, that's still the shot that he took, and it was just a random shot because he was clicking people, and he was showing it to them. Like, see, like I just clicked this photo of you. Would you like to buy it? And then there was like a little kiosk or like a little store where he was like printing it off, and he was like, okay, you go, you enjoy your time at the ski resort. When you're coming down, you just let us know, we'll have it ready. we'll send you the digital copy, and we'll have like a little, like a printed version of that too. So
Do,
just like that, that guy is like promoting his business there. I'm like, this is amazing, you know. And it was
yeah.
just a random click. He didn't ask me to pose. I didn't even knew that he was there. Like he was just like by
Hmm.
his door, and it was like a bright sunny day, so I couldn't really see where he was,
Yeah.
and he just took the shot. So in just like one shot, he got it right, and I was like, oh man, this was actually good, and you know, and
I guess that really works because the same things happened to me
yeah,
at a trip I had recently to Mexico, and just yesterday, and I gotta give a shout out to our Creative Compass, which is another community I'm part of. But we were out shooting in Austin, Texas yesterday, and it
okay,
turns out that we're doing the top of this garage that was hosting some sort of event. So there are a lot of people going
yeah,
in see posh cars and wearing suits and stuff. And one of the photographers that was there does a lot of portrait photography. She works a lot with people. And she was like, maybe we should put up a sign and just tell people, hey, come get your photos taken and we'll send them to you if you want for a small price.
yeah,
So yeah, I've seen it. She's done it apparently, and you've experienced it too. So
yeah, yeah,
it must really work.
yeah. No, definitely. And I think what's most satisfying is the people's reaction when you click a picture of them, or when you click a picture for them rather.
Hmm.
Then like sometimes like, because after seeing the world through a lens, after a while you learn those little hacks or little tips and tricks on how to make that good photo, like a really better photo, I should say, you know.
Yeah.
And when you click that way, even if sometimes, so sometimes what happened, I would meet some people that just ask you to take a photo of them through their phone. They would see me with the camera, and they're like, "Oh, you're a professional photographer, so can you click my photo?" I'm like, "Sure." So they're like, "No, no, just with my phone. I'm okay with that." And then I
Hmm.
would show them a different perspective
Yeah.
of the picture, and they're like, "Oh man, like that looks absolutely stunning." You know, it's just
Oh, different.
completely different way. Like I wouldn't have um, imagined that
Hmm.
this could look like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what's in a picture? It's more like what I see, Laro, is like it's visual storytelling. You know, if you take a picture and someone sees it and they're like, "Man, this picture speaks to me." You know,
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
unfolds like some secrets, and it makes me feel like, if it's landscape, oh, I wish how like it would feel if I was there. And if it's portrait and a girl sees like, oh my God, that was her wedding day and she looks so stunning. I wish one day, you know.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so that creates the fans, that creates that level of in like that intriguing experience that we like to create. You know,
Yeah.
now
And
yeah, and I personally like post like a lot of like grid posts. So obviously the reach for those accounts is very limited, but that's not what I'm trying to achieve anyway. For me, the
hmm.
follower numbers is not really like the thing. But in your posts, I've seen like it's a lot of engagement. There's a lot of like people that actually interact with you. They do like share their views on like how your pictures are. And I think that's absolutely amazing. So I'm pretty sure people are really enjoying your work.
Yeah, appreciate it. And now that you mentioned, I'm actually curious. Yeah, I've seen that you've shifted from like I guess single post to the grids.
Yeah.
Like anybody that goes back through your work, they'll see that. So what caused that switch, and why do you do it?
A while back, actually, you know the app Photo Pills?
I think I've heard about it.
Yeah. So we generally use that app to plan the shots, so moon shots or sunset shots, or like just to get those right positionings and everything. But anyway, so they have an Instagram account of their own. So they shared a picture of a guy. I think he's an Indian guy, but he lives somewhere in the Africa.
Hmm.
And I stumbled upon his account, and like he had actually done the pictures separated this way. So he would be like going country by country by country. So I felt like this was much more organized. And me personally in my life, I'm not a very organized person, you know. It would always, everything would be like all over the place, you know. I was never like that even in school. In the morning, I would wake up like a zombie, and one of my socks is here, one of my, like my tie is there, my belt is there. I was always a very like messy kid, and that still continues, unfortunately. So I thought at least there should be one bloody thing in my life
Yeah.
that is organized. So so I was like, I really like this idea. So I'm gonna steal it. I did message him. I'm like, yeah, I really love the way that you presented.
Hmm.
Although he wasn't presenting, he wasn't posting in the grids. He was posting country by country, but still like single shots, the way like you post. The
Yeah.
grid post, I came across this app when I was searching for like some other editing app, and on the Play Store, I think it was one of the suggested apps, like Grid Post. So when I hit on that, then it showed me those sample pictures in the reviews and whatnot. So I was like,
Hmm.
that actually looks cool. And the first time when I posted it, some people that I was traveling with, they're like, "Oh, you're super talented. I love the way this picture is like it's covering the entire screen of my phone." So I'm
Hmm.
like really into that shot. You know, it makes it look much bigger, and I feel like yes, I'm a part of that image somehow. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we can do a little bit of mix and match of some grid posts, some single posts, some like some more those like swiping posts or panoramic ones. So yeah,
Hmm.
just playing around with that right
Yeah.
now, just to make it look nice and neat and clean and presentable. That's the
It
whole
is
idea.
totally clean and presentable. So kudos to you.
Thank you, thank you. Some lady had actually DM'd me. She said, very nice that you post pictures like this. Initially, I thought that, oh, what is he doing? Why is he like flooding my my feed continuously? And I just see like this is black screen, black screen, black screen. What the hell am I looking at? Then when
Hmm.
I went to your timeline and then I see this, then it all made sense. So after
Yeah.
that, I think I posted like I put in the description or in my bio that I post grids. So expect multiple notifications at times. So that just
Yeah.
like
I saw that.
people should know what's happening here.
Uh, nah, yeah, I probably takes a lot of work. I haven't tried that out yet, but does that
Yeah.
affect the way that you shoot in any
Yeah.
way? Uh, say like, do you shoot more landscape because of the way you post, or not
Yeah.
really? Just
I
curious.
I love to photograph people, and honestly, I would love to photograph people even more. Uh, but for some reason, I still feel that I'm like a little too shy to go and ask people that like, would I be able to take your picture? Can I take your picture? Or anything like that. I'm
Mhm.
much more comfortable doing that when I'm traveling, because that's when like my mind is at complete ease, you know. But
Yeah.
when in the day-to-day life, when I'm already like so tired with dealing with like our clients in the bank and everything, by the time I go out with my camera, I feel like okay, I need my like my happy space with the
Hmm.
nature and me or the birds or whatever that I photographed.
Yeah.
So at that time it's like, maybe we'll interact with people some other time, and then it's just like an endless loop of procrastination. It's like, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
find people someday and we'll photograph them. So it generally never happens. But I have photographed few people in the past, and I made a separate like a handle within this Instagram page where I post like people's pictures.
Hmm.
So yeah, slowly and eventually we're getting there. But I haven't really done like any gigs or anything like that. Have you? Like,
Yeah.
have you done any weddings and stuff like that?
And I've done one wedding
Uh,
where I work with people most is lifestyle and product photography,
yeah,
just because I love I guess adding people's experiences to using a product or to going into an Airbnb or things like that. So
yeah,
that's where I'll try to like merge different niches to, like enhance an experience.
yeah,
But
yeah. Okay,
that
nice, nice.
it's a different it's a different way of going about things, like working
Yeah,
with people can be uh it's fun, but it can be more difficult too because there's more directing. That's the funny thing about photography, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, there's more directing, but I guess in a way you have more time in your hands. Whereas if you're shooting landscape, for instance, then timing is really important. You know, you might miss
Yeah.
that cloud or that bird might fly away.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
be able to, hey, come back here, like that was the perfect spot. So, and that goes back to me enjoying different photography niches because there's a beauty like within like so many of them,
Yeah.
each of them. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. You do landscapes anymore, or like you're mainly focusing on the people?
I guess the answer to that would be I'm focusing on myself and what the client needs.
Uh,
So, like sometimes, say for instance, I'm shooting a product, maybe that product was done for outdoor activities, right? So, for times like that, then I'll try to implement, some sort of landscape there as well, add some extra dimension to it. So, that's
right.
usually how I go about my photography. I try to not just focus on the person or the product, but to have something in the background that adds a little bit more to that story.
Right. Right. Very good. And I love
Yeah.
that. I love being inspired from other people's work, and that actually motivates me to do more. Now that
Mhm.
I've traveled to a couple of countries, and now I feel like there's so much content for me to be sharing out there. I tend to find myself being a little lazy. That okay, like how much am I going to photograph Canada? I have enough content, but then I realize, okay, no, maybe like when I'm posting on my stories and stuff like that, it should be more recent. It should be more up and coming kind of stuff. At least that's where people can see the most recent work, because I can't mess up the grid. If it's going country by country, I can't just throw some random shots in there from Canada again. They're like, you live there. Why are you sharing? Why are you sharing
Yeah.
that? so, so yeah. So like sometimes I tend to kind of like kick back, relax on the weekend, but then like you have to when I see people like work like of you and some other photographers that I'm extremely inspired by, that's what actually drives me. That's motivation there. So I love that.
Yeah.
And you're very consistent with that too. Every time I open Instagram, like there's one post that just shows up from you regardless, you know?
Yeah, I try and you should know it's not easy to keep up with social media and all that
Yeah,
stuff, but yeah, I try to put my content out there.
yeah,
And going back to what you were saying about posting something different on your grid, it's a good point you made there. And I think one thing that I always mention is diversification is important. So you're talking about using stories. That is a great way of showing people something different to your work that you wouldn't usually put on your grid, right? And
yeah,
I know people that do stories myself. I do a lot of stories. I know people that use their website, for instance, to show things that they
mm,
wouldn't normally put on Instagram. And there are so many ways. And you doing YouTube too, so that's great, So
yeah, yeah,
that's another, I guess, channel that people can go through and see, okay, hey, like this is not just about landscape or grids, like it's actually providing value to us through
right,
this, through not maybe like if you add your stories, yeah, but through this
yeah.
YouTube channel. So yeah, another kudos to you, doing great there, man.
Thank you very much. It's still new, it's still growing, but few interesting things. Like your interview definitely is going to be amazing, and I'm sure people are going to love it. And one of the interviews I did with a local photographer from here, then there was like one tour that I did of like a lighthouse here, where close to where I live, and that gentleman shared some stories about the Titanic from that night, something that usually the people don't get to hear
Yeah.
otherwise. And then there was like some homeless guy who was doing the rock painting, which is a big thing on the east coast of Canada, and he
Hmm.
painted the national flag of India for me,
That,
and the attention to detail and everything. And I just try to show it like a time lapse or like a faster video, basically.
yeah.
So yeah, few of the interesting stuff that I'm sharing. I'm not sure why I never actually went out vlogging when I was traveling. I don't know. I never did that. I was way too busy in just either taking pictures because that's what I'm used to, or just
Hmm.
like, kind of traveling. And when I was in Asia or in Africa, I was busy just eating. There's so much to eat, such
Yeah.
delicious food. I was like, oh man, we can do the recording later. Let me just focus on eating.
Yeah. I
What a
mean,
delight.
yeah, like I don't blame you for it. Some
Yeah,
that is the tricky part about photography too. Sometimes it can get, you know, so busy with like trying to shoot that we forget about actually experiencing the place.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
you really need that balance, between vlogging or taking photos and
yeah,
like really enjoying the place, because
yeah,
you're really not gonna create like cool content if you're just too like preoccupied with, oh, I gotta shoot this or I gotta take this photo. You really gotta enjoy the place too. So
yeah. It feels like work after some time, you know?
exactly,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, and that's continuously on your mind. So
Hmm.
even if like you're enjoying, even if you're on a vacation, you tend to still think like you are still at work. You're chasing deadlines. You're creating something new. Still have to share. You still have to
Yep.
stay in the game, kind of thing.
Hmm.
So that kind of rush feeling, yeah, sometimes I
Yeah.
don't enjoy that much. So, but props to people like you and some other even Instagrammers and YouTubers that I've seen. They are very particular, very punctual. I would say like it requires a lot of discipline in life in general. If you're disciplined, it will show in every walk of your life.
Hmm.
Whether it's your day job, as we all do, whether it's your social media stuff, whether it's your like being an entrepreneur, whether it's like growing your side hustle or anything, that discipline, I think I lack that to a certain extent. I would love to work on that a little more to be more like what should I say, consistent with like
Hmm.
posting stuff and all that, like just to be in the game,
Yeah.
because in this day and age, uh, it's very easy to get lost in the sands of time. People are not going to remember you,
Hmm.
because there's like new stuff coming like every other second. If you don't keep up, what's there for them to stick around? You know what I mean? There's like
Yeah.
another pressure. It's like your marriage that you're trying to work on. It's like, oh my God, it's so much work, So that's how it is. You have to just like bam, bam, bam. Like you have to keep going.
Yeah. It's sad reality, but it is what it is. So yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta keep up with things.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think let me see. Okay. So it says, okay, so first time I was recording using Zoom. So sorry if I seem like a little distracted, because it just showed me that you just have like 10 minutes left or something. And it's
Yeah.
telling you, oh, you got to upgrade or something. But yeah, um, we'll make the most of like the last 10 minutes as well, and then I'm sure like I would love to reschedule like another session with you, a couple of weeks or months down the road. So what's next on the agenda? Like, is it just Instagram where you're sharing your work, or like are you on YouTube as well that people can follow?
That's actually one thing I thought of doing. Working videos is not so easy, especially for the vision that I have. I wanna implement more, I guess, outdoor type stuff on my YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel that I barely use, but I want to start using that a lot more for like drone footage and things like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, we'll see. It takes time. Editing video really takes a lot of time. I've done it in the past, and I know, so much respect for full-time videographers out there.
Yeah,
uh yeah, so that's my current challenge, and we'll see how that's going to go. Maybe when we do that call in the future, I'll give you an update on that.
sure. And right now, like, you're working like you're doing some day jobs as well, or is it just focusing on photography for now?
A lot of it is photography. I also do scientific research, so that takes a lot of my time. But yeah, we all have hobbies and we all have passions. It's all about balancing different aspects of our
That's true.
lives.
That's
Yeah.
true. And as like, of course, like, so it's a big thing in Asian cultures where there's a lot of influence from your parents. in your personal lives or about your hobbies and passion? Is it similar even in your culture? Was it like that in your family?
Mm, not really, not that they've always been supportive of like the many different passions that I've
Yeah,
always had. I grew up playing tennis, soccer. Uh, I have a minor in business. I love photography, so I'm all over the place. And for all of those passions, they've always been supportive of me.
yeah,
And yeah, it never really felt like pressure. If anything, it felt like I was teaching them something different
yeah,
than they knew before. So I guess I've been privileged in that regard.
yeah. And you were born in like US, like you're in Texas?
And no, I originally come from Angola. So
Okay.
I've been in the US for roughly 9 years,
Yeah,
9 years, and a few other places before that. So yeah, it's been an adventurous life,
yeah.
put it that.
Okay. Nice. So now like is US home? Like you feel like this is where you belong, this is where you want to be?
For the time being, yes. For the time being, yes. Although I do want to visit Calgary. I don't know if you've been, but I hear
Mm,
many great things about it. So
yeah,
not saying I would go to like stick around, but I do want to see just how things are out
yeah.
there. There's too much beauty in Canada, so never know, man.
No, it's definitely a beautiful place. You should visit. And if you do get a chance, like visit the East Coast, I'm sure you'll love it. We've got the whales, the icebergs, some of the beautiful migratory birds,
Mhm.
the beautiful Atlantic, some amazing like landscapes to photograph here, and some of the nicest people that you'll meet. And
Yeah,
it's
I get
still
to
it's
hear a lot
still
about it.
very, yeah, it's still like still decently affordable as compared
Mm,
to the other parts of Canada that are bordering the states, like out west, like Alberta and the BC and everything.
yeah.
This part is still like little like kind of a hidden gem. Yeah,
Huh. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. I have uh, quite a lot of connections in the BC area, and a lot of them complain. Well, yeah, the PNW is great for landscape, and the weather is beauty for photographers. But
yeah,
yeah, the cost of living is something that I always hear is I guess the downside of the west side.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. Well, it's we still have like 3-4 minutes. Is there anything else you want to share with us, with the viewers, um, about their struggles, or like some people always are kind of like talking themselves out of certain things, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't follow this, maybe I shouldn't follow that. What if I don't make it? What if this thing's gonna be something that I would want to do? What would you recommend to those people? How to fight those thoughts in your head?
I would say find the people that love what you do and learn to love what you do before you turn it into something else, Say like the business isn't always going to be successful, but if you're out there enjoying taking photos, then at least that is something that will never be taken away from you. And I've had a lot of success just and I think I've mentioned it a few times in the school, but I've had a lot of success connecting with different photographers and learning from them. And even that has led to some businesses to, reaching out to me. So I would say go out there, put yourself out there, meet new photographers. Don't be scared to uh, be in a place where you feel vulnerable. That's how
Yeah,
you learn. That's how you progress. That's worked for me. And I think it would work for more photographers if more were willing to put themselves out there.
fabulous, fabulous. I think that's a very lovely and motivational note. But on that note, Laura, we should wrap it up. It's been an immense pleasure talking to you. Thank you so very much for joining me for this little fun chat.
Yeah, likewise, man. Really appreciate you extending the invitation. Loved it.
Thank you very much, and really looking forward to more of your work.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise, my man.
All right, thank you very much, and I hope you have a good night. We'll talk
Yeah,
soon.
you too.
All right,
Adios.
take care.
Yeah, you too.
I